Welcome back to the Purpose Producer Podcast. I'm your host, Georgia Dawkins, and this is season 4 of the Purpose Producer. All season, I have been bringing you my favorite Black boy joy stories, and today's episode is no different. Today, we're talking to a friend of mine who's not only a comedian, but a writer and an actor who brings us so much joy on social media. Please welcome, all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Mr. Barry S. Naylor. How you doing today, Barry?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Look, you're not from Philadelphia. How did you
No,
end up
man.
in Philly?
Well, I was in Tampa, Florida before I moved up this way. And like more show opportunities were going on up here. So I figured I can slide up here. My dad's side of the family, so I'll still be connected with some people I know. So that's what the family is. I got a mix of family and dream chasing as well, all in one area. So I figured this would be the move to make for the time being.
Yeah, we're all about dream chasing on the Purpose
Yes,
Producer. And, the move is all about, putting yourself in position, which we love. We love over here.
yes.
Everybody knows the power of being in position. I want to ask you a question I've been asking every guest this season. And
Mm,
that is, where is your joy today on a scale
today.
of 1 to 10?
Today we'll go with about a 7. We'll go with 7
Okay,
today.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say seven's been pretty much average all season, but
yeah,
we love to hear it because we love to see Black men smiling. We love to see you
yeah.
experience joy. Why do you say you're
Thank
at a 7 today?
well, by day, other than being a stand-up comedian, I'm also a substitute teacher. So, I was with them kids earlier today. So they brought me down to a 7.
They
It
bring
was a
you
wild
down.
day.
Okay.
It was a wild day today. It was a wild day, but
Most people say
nonetheless,
kids, spark joy. Is that not what you think of when you think of
yeah.
children?
I mean, like probably parents said that like their kids bring them joy, but a collection of other people's kids, nah, it ain't joyful. Telling everybody to sit down all day. So yeah,
Okay,
but
I understand how
but
that could
still,
be. That could
yeah.
be an energy zap.
Oh, it can't be. But I have my ones who every time I see him, it's always, hey, Mr. Barry, stuff like that. But then thing had the other side. So
Yes, let's talk about Mr. Barry because
yeah,
you have a
yeah.
Mr. Barry series on social media and you give us content almost
And
daily. I don't know if the parents know about this, but you give us followers content almost daily about what it's like to be Mr. Barry. So tell us about a typical day in the classroom. What happened today, Barry?
so I made the series called Mr. Barry Feels the Blues. Um, because one of my kids said something wild to me one day, and I was like, well, can't keep this to myself. So I just made a video about it. Everybody started laughing. Then I just had the idea of a lot of things are said to me throughout a day as Mr. Barry. So I just give it to let the people know a day in the life of a teacher. Not just any teacher. Mr. Barry from my point of view. So yeah, I just want to make sure I
Yeah.
share that with everybody. It can go from the fire alarm being pulled, how they never pull the fire alarm on a nice weather day. When the sun's out shining bright, nobody wants to pull the fire alarm. As soon as it's
You're having a
freezing
good
cold,
time.
as soon as it's freezing cold or a rainy day, let's go ahead and just pull the fire alarm. Everybody has to evacuate the building. So it's
Speaking of the spark, speaking of the alarm,
mm,
what was it inside of you that said comedy was your path?
I've always been like the class clown in a sense. And then my whole family's funny. Like I'm not the funniest person in my family. I have hilarious cousins and uncles and aunts and all that stuff. So it's peer pressure got me doing it. And then once you get that first laugh, it's like a drug. Once you can make an audience laugh, it's like that rush that you get. You just want to continue doing it. So and plus you always have a perspective to give. So, and it's like a medicine in a sense, like making people laugh, but also being able to make people laugh is a medicine as well. So that's why I continue to do it.
Absolutely. So, like, where did you get started? Like, how long have you been doing comedy and where did you start?
I've been doing comedy for 12 years now. This went by quick.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I'm almost a teenager. I started doing comedy in Tampa, Florida. This one, it was a coffee house that had like an open mic on Mondays called Sacred Grounds. Yeah, so it was at Sacred Grounds Coffee House, and I was already part of an improv group, so I was the only one in the group. I think me and one other person weren't stand-up comedians. Everybody else was, and the other guy that didn't do stand-up was a poet. So it was just me doing improv, and everybody just kept telling me I was funny. So they, suggested that I go up, but I was like, I don't think y'all know what you're talking about. I'm the improv guy. Oh, but then I had like a peer pressure, like somebody kept calling me every day until I got on stage. So
Wow.
got up there and haven't stopped since.
That's amazing. Like, you
Yeah.
talk about laughter kind of being that drug.
Mhm.
Where do you find joy in comedy?
Being able to sit in a room full of strangers, who nobody knows who you are, um, or still they do know who you are, and they come from however far, however close, and just take time out their day. They could be having a rough day, and hearing your set can take all whatever's in the back of their mind, clouding it, and just make it go away and just make them feel good for whatever that time period is. So that's the joy that I find. I had somebody tell me that they came to a show. It was their first time being out because they recently had somebody pass in their family, somebody really close to them. They had no desire to go out whatsoever, and they just happened to be at the show that I was on, and I just brought tears to their eyes, and just had them cracking up laughing. So they shared that with me, and I was like, "Well, this is just that extra push reminds you why you do it." So,
How has
mm,
your writing or your voice changed
mm.
over time in this 12 years of comedy?
That's a good question. I have more of an idea now what I want to talk about when I get on stage. But at the same time, I'm still figuring it out. Like I said, I'm 12. So your age in comedy or whatever your craft is, you just take that as, when you're growing up. So when you're 12, you're more aware of yourself. You want to take more chances and try to figure stuff out. At the same time, I'm not new anymore. So I'm still, it's a level of this is what I got to do, got some responsibility type of thing. And also, when you become a teenager, you kind of feeling yourself. So, you got to get your little
Hmm.
swag right. I'm just writing what I see, what I live, pop culture stuff. I'm more of an observational type comedian, but I also want people to get to know who I am more. So that's kind of where I'm at right now in my writing. Like, mhm.
How have you been able to use comedy to like help you heal?
ah, I think comedy. Well, it's not. I think I know comedy brings me sanity. Because
Mm.
I have lived like a wild life in a sense, but at the same time, I know that I can find the humor in things. So whether it's no matter how bad it might be, that you can always find the humorous side or the funny perspective angle of it. So that's one way that I'm able to deal and cope with stuff. I can find joy and I can find the laughter in pretty much majority of things. Sometimes that might be good, sometimes that might be bad, but I find a way to just keep pushing on with it.
Yeah, I like to think that the best comedians are like the most troubled for some reason.
I can see
Because we're
that.
able
Yeah,
to find, the humor
yeah.
in that lesson or whatever. Um, what lessons have you uncovered like through comedy? What's something that you people would be surprised to know comedy helped me through this?
A wild thing that you experience as a comedian is you're just like on a roll, just being funny, and then all of a sudden something big like happens, like a death in the family or something like that. And ironically, it can end up on the same day that you have to deliver a show, like a big show. And it's you have to make the decision, like, am I going to let this make me or break me? So you still got to feel the feelings, but you still also have to get on stage and give it 110%. even though in the back of your mind. So it just shows you how strong that you can be, and what's your body and your talent and craft that you're able to give in spite of. So that's one thing that I've learned. The show
Was
must
there
go
a
on.
particular moment? Was there a particular moment in your career where you realized the show must go on? Was there an experience that, led to this wisdom that you have now?
Yeah, my grandmother died the night I had to give a show. It was my first show back at the University of Florida, when I was with my improv group, and I was the one who actually had, helped coordinate making that show happen. And it was like that morning she passed away. My grandmother raised me, so that
Wow.
was yeah. It's like that's my girl, this, and it's like this is one of the people that you need to see you, do your thing. So this is what we're working for. So when that happened, it was heart crushed. But then I knew I still had the show, and I was like, this is what she prepared me for. All those Sunday programs that she had me on, being able to stand in front of people and giving my all. So like this is what you taught me how to do. This is what I got to go do tonight. So oh yeah, we crushed that night too. That's probably one of my best performances that night. That was a wild show. That was a good one. That's one for the books.
Look, I've been fortunate to see you live a few
Mm-hmm.
times here in Atlanta, and I know
Mm-hmm.
your grandmother would be proud.
Oh,
How do you
thank you.
think that she would feel like now that you're 12 years into this, you've been consistent, you're making it through these life events, and still
Mm-hmm.
pursuing your dream? What do you think she'd say to you?
Stop all that cussing. That's one of the main things she'll say. But she'll be proud because you see the work that I've been putting in. Um, and yeah, the way the presentation wise, like how I get up there and it's the just like commanding the stage. That's basically what she taught me to do, with these welcome speeches and the Easter program speech and the Black History Month speech and stuff like that. So I just take what I grew up doing and just incorporate that to what I do on the stage now. But now it's just with jokes.
Yeah. Shout out to the Black church because I think the Black church has raised a lot
Oh yeah.
of entertainers.
Oh yeah.
And I think
Definitely.
it was for some of us our first audience. What did it mean for you? Or how did that audience or the congregation help develop you as a comedian and actor, entertainer?
Well, my grandma was the mother of the church, so and she's
Okay,
and
celebrity status.
right, and my grandpa was the head deacon. So
Oh,
whenever there was a program, by default, I'm in it. So, and then I went to the kindergarten I went to is Minnie Palmore House. Is this one school in Graniteville, South Carolina. So they had just all the black kids in the area who they wanted to make sure they gave them gave us rather like knowledge of self and teaching you can be this, you can be whatever you want to be, teaching us how to read early. They had me saying that I have a dream speech in full at 5 years old. So, and it's like a just, constant just believing in yourself type thing like that. So that upbringing is just something that we just is just stuck with me. So
was gonna say, as an educator and an entertainer, are you now seeing that the kids who are coming up now are losing those skill sets? Because people aren't really in church as much anymore. There's a lot of
mm,
virtual worship going on, a lot of virtual
mm,
learning going on. Are kids now
mm.
growing up with these speech skills, presentation skills that we had in, the 80s and 90s?
Some yes, some just have it in them in a sense. Some things can be taught, and some people just automatically have it. But their performance is like in type of different type of avenue. They don't necessarily do the um as far as presentation wise, but they like do it via like videos in a sense. Like they're still performance oriented, but it's just in a different way. So I think with because some kids even like with the church that my aunt's church that I visit, for example, I've seen some of the kids who just they not scared. It's like it's my time to shine. Bet I'm up here. These are my lines. I'll do it. So there you have those that have it in them. Some, but as a whole, like I'm not really sure because they're all like TikTok, and I don't really get to see them. Give the presentations yet. But
I'm just
it's
trying to
not. It's not
understand
done.
today's kids. I'm just trying to understand
Hey.
today's kids because they get the instant gratification of social media
Mm,
and TikTok and stuff, whereas we had to wait on that Easter speech to get a
you
standing
had to.
ovation.
Had to, and you just had to get claps. There were no likes. It's like after you done, you done. You had to wait until that moment, like you said, and also you had to get up there and do it. And it's not like a leave the video and hope to respond. So I don't know. We got to see how it plays out in the long run because you never really get to
Yeah.
see. Yeah, so that's the one of the main differences.
If you have enjoyed Barry S. Naylor on the Purpose Producer podcast, please follow my boy. Barry, tell my audience how they can keep up with you.
You can follow me at Barry S. Naylor on all social media platforms. Barry, S as in Sam, N as in Nancy,
You're not doing
Aylor.
this. You're not
What?
doing this.
I,
We're not doing it. You're not
I used to
spelling
work.
on the show.
I used to
Y'all
work
just
at
read the podcast description.
I used to work at when you got to read back the number and stuff at T-Mobile when people paying their bills, you got to make
The
sure they know S
Alpha
as in Sam.
Bravo.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
got to make
God.
sure. You ever had somebody call you and they just you tell them what your name is or whatever, and then they just give you something completely different? I've been
Mm-hmm.
called Derek on so many times. I'm like, no, my name is Barry. I said my name is Barry.
I've
It's like,
been
oh hey,
Gloria.
Glory. I
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean,
So
but
now that
still, yeah.
we're following you on social media, Barry,
Mm.
what projects can we look forward to from BSN?
Y'all can watch the Mr. Barry Feels the Blues sketches Monday through Friday. Let you know how Mr. Barry, the substitute, is having a terrible day at work. Or you can listen to BS with BSN, my podcast where I get comedians from all over the country to come in. We either do headlines or we do just different random games. Um, just to showcase, let y'all meet new comedians, see that they're actually real life funny, get you some more people to follow and get you some laughs in. Also, I have the Barry from the Delta Counter series. It's just me and my daily, well, not daily things, but things that happen at the airport when people come to the Delta Counter. Take a look; you'll enjoy.
Y'all gonna love him. Just follow him. Just follow
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Random foolery every day.
Barry, we thank you for the foolery. We thank you for the fun. And we thank you for bringing us joy on a consistent basis. I wish you all the best, brother. Thank you for stopping by.
Why, thank you. Anytime, it was my pleasure.
Keys and codes, combinations and revelations. No longer restricted access. This is a place of elevation. He gave me power over position and wisdom for my reality. He said no weapon formed would be a match for my vitality, which brings me to this moment, this fight, this wave. I'm standing in my purpose. I'm standing in my wealthy place. Purpose producer.